With no holds barred, no filters. This is not for children. Let me just tell you this. If you need something for your kids to watch the video before this called It's a Surprise, where me and Ashay show out in California and paint the town red. All right, it feels like the music is a little too loud. I'm yelling. How's that? Is that okay?
That's good.
All right, let me introduce my guest tonight. And first of all, before I introduce my guest, let me just say for a moment, shout outs to Joe, who you guys enjoyed so much last week. Joe is moving across the street tonight. I just saw him a little bit ago with some pots and pans and a grocery bag. And I was like, we got wagons. Go get a wagon. But he's moving tonight. And then y'all know Rain joined us last week and gave us all the tea. And tonight, she said she started her new job last week. She was on day 4. So I guess that would make this day 11. And she's tired. So Rain is going to stay in tonight and catch us. But hopefully Rain is watching live. If you are, Rain, please join us in the comments. You are more than welcome because you know what the topic is tonight. And my guest tonight, who I am so excited and fucking honored to have on this platform as our second guest, who had me on his platform while I was still going through all the PTSD from coming back from China. The host of the Black Book Podcast, who I actually went to your page the other day and was watching some of your videos back that I hadn't seen in a while. So I want to welcome the host of the Black Book Podcast. What do you want to call yourself? I don't want to give your whole government name out. What's up?
Just call me E.
Just call me E, nigga. That's my name too. Call me E. This is my homie. Y'all, every time we are somewhere together, we always introduce ourselves by our scars. Where's your scar, Harry Potter? Well, I have to tell you at some point, only people who really know us know where the scars came from. I got one right here and a couple right here. And then, Eric, come on, tell the people where your scar is at.
Mine all healed up, I think.
Oh, my words all healed up. My ass, they all healed up. Whatever, my ass, they all healed up. All right, one day we'll tell y'all how we got them scars. And we almost got some charges, but it wasn't the first time, and it wasn't the last time.
Hey,
and I tell you one thing about me and E. We don't fight each other no more, but we will fight. Okay? Don't get it twisted. Don't mess with one of us and don't mess with none of us. Because if we together, it's over. And we both about as tall as this bone, but we gonna fuck you up. But anyway, the topic tonight.
Excuse my background.
What's wrong with your background? You want to tell the people where you are, Aaron?
In boxes. Yeah, I'm in Shanghai, China, which they will find out if they look at my podcast.
Check out the podcast, the Black Book Podcast. Eric is still in China. He came back for a little bit.
Check out my shirt. It says, I fight because I matter.
I fight because I matter. It's that simple. You want to know why I'm willing to fuck you up? Because I matter. I'm a little tired, Eric.
I know what today's topic is, but I gotta ask you something. You gotta have me back on if you want to talk about this right here. I would love for you to talk about this Jeffrey Dahmer shit. I just finished watching the Netflix series. That's a totally different topic than what we're talking about today, but it's an important topic from the Black community standpoint that we need to talk about?
Well, I will tell you something, Eric. One thing you will learn about the Meet Me at the Mic podcast is it goes everywhere. It goes everywhere. It starts right here. But where it's going to go, one of the commenters last week, who you know and love, hold on. I had to get my grinder. One of the commenters last week, who you know and love, said, entertaining and random as fuck. That's pretty much what it is. You know, when we talk, we just talk.
Right. So
we just gonna go where the conversation goes. So yeah, we'll talk about it. You'll have to clue me in anyway because I haven't watched it. I mean, I lived the Jeffrey Dahmer period. I lived that era. I was alive during that time as almost an adult.
I wasn't.
So we have quite the age difference. Eric, you are currently 27?
29.
Fuck. Eric was 23 when I met him. He was 23. I was 36. 2016.
2016. Yeah, I was 23 in 2016. Yeah.
Thought he was grown, y'all. Eric thought he was grown.
I was grown
as fuck. In the mean streets of Beijing.
Fuck that place, man.
Fuck Beijing. I tell people all the time I left Beijing because it was too hood. And people are like, what? Ooh, Eric, I gotta tell you something funny before we get into the topic because I haven't introduced it yet. So I was at the airport the other day, right? It was what night was that? Monday. I was at the airport Monday night at LAX. And Ashe was trying to get her bag and she was running because she knew her bag was supposed to come out first, you know. And so she was running and I was like, Tingza, go alive, put in. And this man said to me, he was like, I'm surprised you speak to your daughter in Chinese. I said, really? Why are you surprised?
Was he Chinese?
I mean, he could have been anything. He looked like he might have been from somewhere in Asia. You know, he could have been Filipino. He could have been Taiwanese. He could have been anything, right? Korean, Japanese. And he was like, oh, well, you know, not many people speak to their children in Chinese. I was like, well, she was born in China, you know, so that's her first language. It's the language she obeys. You know, the point I was getting to. And I said to him, I said, well, Chinese is a language. People have access to it and can learn it. And he wasn't even Chinese. He was from Taiwan, which he was surprised I knew was two different places.
Well, they're the same people. They're the same fucking people.
Same culture for the most part. But you're right. But I was trying to get to the point, like, why are you surprised? Because the nigga speaking Chinese, nigga. Nigga, it's a language. Anybody can learn it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. I've been in China.
I said there were a lot of people in China who were surprised too.
I was about to say, even today, I was just outside. It's 11 a.m. I was just outside 30 minutes ago talking to somebody. Oh, your Chinese is so good. Like, you don't even know how long I've been living in China.
You've been in China now for what, 6 years? Almost 7 years?
Almost 7, yeah. It's crazy to think because like in America we just expect motherfuckers to know English. We don't be like,
exactly.
Oh, English is so good.
I tell people all the time, I'd be like, you know, when I was in China, I would ask people and they ask me, do you know how to use chopsticks? That's the dumbass question I would get all the time. And I say, well, do you know how to use a fork and knife, bitch? Well, let's ask a better question. Do you know how to wash your hands? So anyway, anyway, here's the topics for the day. That was good, Eric. That was a good intro. I want to know this first of all. Would you ever, before we do that, I'll do some academic shit.
Academic shit, okay.
Academic shit, because we both educators, right? And before we dig into a topic, we typically like to understand it a little bit before we dig into our own opinions about it and how it makes us feel, and you know, all the things. So first thing I want to talk about, I want to define the motherfucker. Okay. The first thing I want to ask is, in your definition, what is a body count?
Well, in these days, Urban Dictionary will tell you.
Because that is the dictionary these days.
Urban Dictionary will tell you. Something along the lines of body count means how many people a person has had sex with. And pay attention to the words I use. I said people in person, right? I didn't say man or woman because people might get offended, you know. But I'll say people or person.
Confused.
Because yeah,
they might get offended or confused, but we are relegating this to human beings, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Not your favorite puppy friend, not your gerbils. You know how we get down sometimes. Us as people, we like to explore. No fruits and vegetables in this conversation.
I've never explored that far.
I mean, some have. I learned in high school about the gerbils through my health teacher, of all people.
Yo.
So, what you smoking on?
Newports.
Where you get some Newports from?
When I was in America, I brought them back.
You got some 40 limes and brought them back to the Chinese. Oh. You got you some Newports, dog. I know that's right. See, if you ever lived overseas and you wasn't able to have something that you was used to having, like some Duke's mayonnaise, or some Kool-Aid, or some Newport cigarettes, or some Now and Laters,
the fucking
some
cereal,
Oreo hot cheese popcorn. Cereal's like $12 a box at the stores where you can get it. If you ain't never been somewhere where you can't have what you want, man, I know how you felt when you brought the Newports back too. Did you have to go through customs with them? Did they ask you about it?
Nah, bro. I was in customs. For like. This is the first time I've been to customs, and they pulled me to the side. Like, I didn't flew back into China maybe like 6 or 7 times. I've been in China, and this is the first time I flew back in, and they were like put to the side, asking all these questions. What are you doing here? What is your name? Where do you live?
In America or China?
And yeah, when I came back to China, where is your job? What's the Chinese name of your job? I don't know. I work at an international school. I was like, I don't know. I was like, I work at an international school. We do everything. We do everything in English. Every single thing is in English.
You didn't let them know you spoke Chinese?
Well, my wife was with me, who was Chinese, and so I just let her speak for me because I was so irritated by these people.
Right. Sometimes you just can't, and they know what they're doing. They purposely try to irritate you. They love that shit. And I was like, my daddy used to say, be like a duck underwater, nigga. Just don't let them see you sweat.
Yeah.
Because they love that shit. They absolutely adore watching you get. I don't know if I ever told you this, Eric, but when I was at a Halloween party around 2017, I think it was the year my daughter was born, there was a game that was played at the party with the kids. And the game was initiated as a part of the program. So the teachers put this game on the program. Excuse me. And so what the game was these kids had picked on one child. Well, there was like 3 kids. Sorry, let me turn my device down. There were 3 kids. And the kids had to pick on these kids, like push them, bump into them, say stuff in their face.
Is that an iPhone 14?
13.
Oh.
You can't tell the difference, can you? Exactly. So anyway, And I love me an apple, but I'm not about to just chew one because it's out there. If there's a good enough apple already sitting on my perch.
Well, mine's a bit old now. It's getting slow. I got a 4. I
got
got
a
11.
6 plus? Oh, an 11.
No, it's 11.
I have an 11.
11 was good though. It was good. I mean, it lasted for a while. It's still lasting me, but it's time for a change. I got a little crack on the screen, crack in the back. It's all stuffed up. I gotta get in there.
I see somebody's here. Hello to whoever's here. Thank you for joining us. Feel free to join us in the comments as well as the conversation flows and goes. I was getting ready to ask you shit. I'm high already.
Anyway, let's get back to the topic.
I just want to make sure I didn't want to ask you what we were just talking about you coming back with customs with the cigarettes and them asking you all them dumbass questions. Hey, yes, the dreads are going, baby. The Arizona air fucked them dreads up, baby. I had to go ahead and cut them off. And in my hair usually does look better than this, but shout outs to Disneyland. We shut it down the other day. My baby was like, Mommy, I'm a little tired. And I said, well, let's go, baby. Let's go back to the hotel because Mama's tired too. I told Ashe we will stay at Disneyland as long as you want to, sweetie. If you say it's over, then it's over. And she was like, I'm tired. I can't do it no more, Mama. I can't do it no more. And I said, all right there, baby. I can take it. Let's go. So I just posted a video all about that. So like I said, if you want something to watch with your kids, you can watch the one that came right before this one. Shout outs to my guest today. For those of you who just joined us, this is the Black Book Podcast. I'm being joined by none other than E from Chicago, who is currently in Shanghai, China, tearing it down, showing them how we do it. So the topic tonight, I don't know if the topic's in the title. Is the topic in the title? I don't know. But so we started talking a little bit about it. And the topic tonight, well, Eric, you defined the thing, right?
I defined it. Yeah.
A body count is any human being with whom you've had some sort of sexual. Is it just intercourse?
Well, it could be oral or physical. Or
because that brings up another question. Maybe we'll talk about it in a second. Maybe not.
Maybe it could be also foreplay.
It could be. Hold on, let me get this plug. I'm trying to get this plug. All right. I'm trying to keep my my iPad from dying. So here we go. Wait, let me wait till we come back. Y'all know this podcast is coming as it's going. I see somebody else joined. Area 15 Life Solutions. Wait a minute, did I say that right? Oh, don't make me have to put my glasses on, Lord. I'm trying to look young and hip tonight, not like my dad. So anyway, so the topic tonight is, I guess the first topic tonight is, does body count?
Well, your question is a little bit loaded, right? Because what do you mean by count? Count to who? Count to what? Count for what? So
let's talk about it.
Can you unpack your question though?
I guess I'll unpack my question. So last week we talked about does bad sex count, right? And y'all know, if it didn't become obvious, then I won't make it more obvious than it was. But there was a situation where somebody put down some bad dick. And the question was, does the shit count? Somebody said, depends on where the bodies came from. Oh, because if they had you itching and scratching. That's a good question. Okay. Depends on where the bodies came from. So y'all know last week Rain was saying that she wanted this bad sex hypothetical encounter to count for her if it was her, because motherfucker, she trying to get her bodies up. Rain said Now, this is the first time I ever heard a female say this, and it was surprising to me. And Rain, if you're in the chat, if you're joining us, if you're hearing, if you're watching, you want to join, you're welcome to it. Get your little Diet Coke or whatever and bring it on in. You're always welcome. But Rain said she's a little tired tonight, so she probably gonna sit on the sidelines. But so Rain said the reason why her bad sex encounter, if it was her, hypothetically, the reason why it should count is because she's trying to get her body done. And I had never heard of it from that perspective before, because in my world, shit, if it's bad sex, it shouldn't count, because I don't want to ask Jesus for forgiveness for something I didn't enjoy.
Well, it all counts.
Oh gosh, should we go with that again?
It all counts. I mean, if we're talking hypothetically here, right? Because it was a hypothetical that you were given.
Last week was hypothetical.
Last week was hypothetical. All right, I'll touch on that for a minute. So she wants to get her body count up. All right, and she's trying to get it up. I don't need to know the reasons. Everybody got their own reasons. Reasons don't matter.
Oh, well, she said it on the show. She said, she's trying to get to number 2.
Number 2 what? Number 2 pencil?
See? That's why you gotta watch the show. What you think, Abe? She trying to get to number 2. Younger.
Number 20?
Sure. Younger.
Number 2, like as in the second person she had sex with in her life.
Yeah, that's what she told us.
Oh, okay. Well, I can see that. That's not hoe status.
Well, see, because I guess I think about it a little differently, because shout outs to y'all who joined. Go ahead and tell us in the chat where you from. Because we all over the world, so, we like to meet people. So, here's what I was thinking. I remember after I had sex with my first person. Now, mind you, we're only talking this body count, right, at this point. But we're kind of weaving it into the conversation from last week, too. Because that's kind of where it came from. And after I had sex with the first person last month. His birthday was last month, but anyway, I was eager to get to the second person only because, I had a friend group to run through. It's been some dudes I wanted to hit for a minute, and it was kind of like I felt like number 2 encouraged me to have sex with number 1, so the guilt wasn't on him. And then once I had sex with number 1, number 2 was like, all right, come on, we ready now.
Yeah, so that happens a lot.
And I didn't count per se, but I wasn't.
So let me guess.
Let me go ahead and get my body count up.
Was number two an older guy?
They were friends, and they still are, and they know.
Don't matter. I didn't been in a room. I didn't been in a room before where I fucked 2 girls, and they both know it. I mean, like it.
I didn't been in a room with you when you fucked 2 girls. I think so, right? You missed a couple of them parties where I had too many niggas in the same room. It was like swatting off motherfucking bitches. Bitch, they had all these emotional issues. At the end of the night, I ended up getting into it with one of them. And everybody's like, what was his problem? And I was like, we used to fuck and he couldn't handle it. He came here and he was here. You know, African niggas don't know how to put up with that shit. They can dish it, but they can't take it. But anyway. You know them African niggas be slanging dick and then they get mad when they find out you fucking something. How could you do that?
Yeah, well, I don't have any real life personal experience with this, but I had you as a friend. I had a couple other roommates who would deal with who have relationships with like Nigerian men or Ghanaian men, or like even like Ugandan men. And yeah, they are from what I saw, They're real life lover boys.
They are full of shit.
But when you shoot, and they be out here swinging dick, and I would see them in the club and shit like that. Like I go to the club by myself, and I would see them niggas in the club, all on some other female. When I know he out here giving my roommate the best dick of their life, and then when the tables get turned and my roommate be out here on some other nigga, if you get mad, I had to break up a couple of fights in the middle of the street.
We've been to the club with niggas I done fuck. I don't even say nothing about the nigga. If you and I think we went New Year's Eve. That was the last time I was at the club in Beijing. And Tapua, was it Tapua? Was there? I didn't say
you dropped names?
I drop names sometimes.
Oh, I remember him.
I don't fuck with Tapua no more. He still fuck with me, but I don't fuck with him. You know how that is.
Hey, let me ask you something. Did he ever fuck that? Remember that girl that you tried to be friends with?
She lost so much weight. How?
Are you still friends with her?
I kept in touch with her. She was
still
going
in
to
China?
come. She was, as of 2018, when I went to the Great Wall of China. She was going to come, but her schedule got fucked up that day or something, and she couldn't come. That girl lost so much fucking weight. She looked so good last time I saw her. I was like, bitch.
Good for her. But
the poor probably would have hit
the only
if she
two
looked
things
like that.
I remember two things about her. Two. First thing is she introduced you to a nigga she was trying to fuck. Second thing is
they got mad because
she was rude as fuck. Say what?
She got mad because I fucked him. How you gonna get mad because I fuck him with niggas? If you try to fuck him, what you think I'm gonna fuck him? Anyway, Tapua.
I mean, you know, in my younger days, when I introduced niggas to women
I
that I
made
like,
Tapua sleep in the other room though while I fucked my bitch. I was like, you gotta get out of here. Somebody's gonna be here. So you gotta sleep in the other room. He was mad because he came out in the living room. We had never seen two girls together, I think. He kind of just blew his mind. It was like quiet for like 3 days. That's the thing about a lot of African men. They don't get a lot of experience because a lot of African culture still has a lot of Christianity in it. So they be very closed. Like very closed, very sheltered.
I'm shaking. I gotta shake
women
that shit
together.
off. Whenever somebody mentions Christianity, just shake that shit off. Shake it off.
Man, this shit with the bishop. These Christians showing their ass out here.
What bishop?
Which one? Thank God for social media. These motherfucking preachers want to be famous. Bitch, you famous now.
What you talking about?
Which one? I'm talking about, I don't even want to say that nigga's ugly ass name.
Well, where can I find this shit at?
He look like this.
I see.
That's what he look like. That's about it. That's all I got for you. He robbed himself. 3 to 4 men robbed him apparently. Now it's down to 3. Well, really down to 2.
Oh, is that he on some Jussie Smollett shit?
Bishop Smollett. Yep. I tell you what, he ain't the only one. These preachers and these pastors' wives getting mad about this Beyonce song. Tell me you don't like it though.
What Beyonce song?
You want to hear it?
Sure. You got copyright for that shit?
You know, my channel it's not even monetized.
Okay.
It's not monetized. I don't make money off of my channel so that I have the freedom to do and say what I want. YouTube is not an enterprise for me. I have others.
I'm just asking.
This for me, it's like going to art class or yoga or having a side nigga. But I'm not gonna play the song because I don't want the whole video to get taken down. Beyonce people will take your whole fucking video down. They won't just copyright your shit and be like, don't do that again. Them motherfuckers will take your whole shit down, but your video don't even exist no more. And I don't play with that.
Well, tell me, what's the name of the song? I'll look it up myself. I'll listen to it later.
Church Girl. She started out the song.
Oh, okay.
She doing this old lonely slave shit. You know how they do. How I go, y'all? Y'all know how that song go. Do-do-do-do-do. Got friends who cry round. Oh. Okay, so the good thing is, it gets better. And then she goes, drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. And that's when all the church people got mad. Because she used a sample of a singer who's made her money making gospel music. Now, we ain't never heard this singer give a confession of faith, preach a sermon. We didn't see her get led to Christ. All we've ever seen this woman do is sing. And we assume she's a Christian. But first of all, that don't even matter. Hold on. So what matters is that this woman made this song that Black Christians love. And you know, when Black Christians say something's important and that it's valuable, then all of a sudden that's what it becomes because they said so. Even though we ain't got no political power. But anyway, so the song starts off with this Christian sample that Black people think they own, Black Christians. And so Beyonce used a sample, and I think they thought she was going to make a Christian-ish song, even though Beyonce just made a whole album in Africa honoring all of our gods. And so they got offended and said that Beyonce was mocking the Christian church because Beyonce calls the church, the song Church Girl. But she talks about, they get all bent out of shape. It's like not even a full 10 seconds of the song. It has different twerk references in it. But I grew up in church. I got saved in August of 1984 when I was 4 years old. And we used to drop it like a thotty, drop it like a thotty. I mean, the church girls ain't no different than anybody else. You got ass and hips, you can twerk. What you think fucking half the church dance is? It's the same shit. And so they got mad at Beyonce because she made this song. Well, the people who made the song that made the money off her buying the sample said, leave Beyonce alone. Stop fucking with people money. Leave people money alone. Y'all don't know
the world is very sensitive these days. The world is very, very sensitive.
I think Christians know their time is coming to an end. They say that about the world. The devil know his time coming to an end. So he get agitated. Because he got everything to lose. You know I fucks with Olosi. That's my nigga. I fuck with the devil. He done got me out of a whole lot of trouble. Anytime I feel like I need to know what's about to come up that's going to challenge me and destroy my ego, I go talk to Olosi. And Olosi will tell me the challenge that's about to come, because the only job of the devil is to destroy your ego. That's what I think. That other nigga they be talking about, he ain't never done nothing but make me want to masturbate and drink. And ain't nothing wrong with that. You look so confused right now, Aaron. You look like you watching the time come in. So anyway,
I'm trying to figure out, how do we get here?
Oh, yeah, so let's go back to the body count. So I wasn't trying to build up my body count with the second one, but I also didn't feel the need to keep it a fucking secret. But at some point in my life as a woman, I realized that the number of men that I chose to have sex with had to be a secret. They wanted my experience, but they didn't want my experience.
Yeah, men tend not to, I would say some men tend not to want a woman who they feel like has been ran through. Notice
any number over one is like
feel like.
Any number over one is ran through.
Well, not for me. Not for me.
Well, that's where the question comes from. Does body count count? Because some people say a woman who's had sex with any man is a fucking whore. You know, some cultures.
Yeah, but
you gotta be a virgin, but you better suck dick like a Hoover.
But that nigga would be also what he's insecure. I mean, like, I'll tell you right now. I mean, I'm married, so I don't really count no more. But I don't want no virgin. I dated, had sex with one virgin, and after that relationship, I said I would never do that again.
Okay, so let me ask you another question, and if it's too personal, stop me. Does your wife's parents know she wasn't a virgin when she married you? And does it matter to them?
Well, I can't answer that question. I don't know what they know. All I know, they know we fucking. They knew we was fucking before we got married. So,
they better. Yeah. But how many girls around your wife have to tell their parents they're virgins until they're like 40 because they haven't gotten married yet? They gotta lie and say they're not fucking.
A lot of them.
That's crazy, right?
That's a lot of them.
I knew a woman that was pregnant and had lied to her parents and told them she was virgin. The bitch was pregnant. In China. She lived in Shanghai too. She was pregnant and was lying.
Maybe she was carrying Jesus. She was carrying Jesus, the second coming.
And it was a deadbeat daddy. Yeah, those exist in China too. It was a nigga who was claiming it wasn't his or whatever.
Yeah.
Carboner. So who has a right? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, body count. I mean, like, me personally, I would have an issue with a woman. She says, "What are y'all doing over here?"
Chit-chatting.
So we just talking.
Does body count? That's the question of the day.
If it depends. So it depends, right? So like, I think there's two types of relationships here, right? And so like, if you're looking at someone you think you can spend a long time with, I ain't gonna say the rest of your life, but someone you're gonna be long term with, and I would say even so, maybe with like more on an everyday basis relationship, those are a little bit different. You gotta fuck with it. Why does it matter to you what her body count is? As long as she ain't passing you no STDs. Because if you got a fuck buddy, my thought is you fucking her and tomorrow you gonna fuck somebody else. So why can't she?
So it doesn't matter if you, and you're speaking from the perspective of a man or just like as a person?
It's hard to, well, I would say as a man, but also from this is also my own views. So like I would argue that like I probably share some of the same opinion with a large majority of men, but I guarantee you there's men out there who don't see it the way I see it.
Do you think it matters if it's a man or a woman, whether or not the body count counts? I think that's like the elephant in the room.
No, because men can be whores too. Men can be whores too.
What?
Yeah, men can be whores too. You know.
What's a whore?
What's a whore?
When does your body count become whorish?
When does your body count? Now, I would say this is going to be unfair, but I would say it's different. It's different for men and women. It's different for men and women. It's not the same number.
Honesty.
It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that it is, but this is life. Life is unfair, and unfortunately, what was I gonna say? Women get the short end of the stick. But I would say, on the other hand, though, it's up to women to not give a fuck, or give a fuck, or do something about it, not do something about it. And some people can say, that's up to men as well, to give a fuck or not give a fuck. But in terms of when you ask me your questions, so how many? I would say for men, the numbers, I would probably say anywhere between. I won't say between. I will say anywhere at or after 20 women, I think. Anywhere after 20 women, you are a whore, unless you have just had 20 relationships that you thought were gonna blossom into something bigger. And that will count for women too.
So 20 for a woman too
can lie between somewhere around 10 to 15.
Does that vary by age? Is that ratio given to
no.
to account for age?
What I'm saying is that I'm trying to break this. Can age?
Oh, China got your internet. China got your internet.
Play a factor? I don't know. And the reason I don't know this is because, I don't think. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yep. Count to 5.
Let me reconnect. Hold on.
All right. Yeah, this is Chinese internet shit. Me and Eric do this all the time. Me and E and everybody. Count to 5 for me. Let me hear you count to 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, there's about a 2-second delay. I think we can deal with that for a minute. What time is it? About noon?
Hold on, let me reconnect.
Okay, that's cool. I'll keep it popping while you reconnect.
Let me just reconnect.
Okay.
Yeah, let me reconnect.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
All right. All right, y'all. Eric is going to reconnect. E is going to reconnect. He is in the back getting his stuff together. He's in China, in Shanghai. And in China, especially right now, I think it's about lunchtime in China, and everybody is pouring into the streets to look at their mobile phones at lunchtime. It's probably Friday. People probably got paid. Here, I think he's back.
Is this better now?
Absolutely. I was explaining that it's probably lunchtime in China and everybody coming outside to check their mobile phone. Am I right?
You're not wrong. Anyway, so what I was trying to say was, I said I'm giving men and women a different threshold. Men have a higher threshold than women. But I was going to say, I'm trying to dissect this.
Take your time, preacher.
I'm trying to dissect this, right? And what I'm trying to say is, if you have a high body count, the only way I think people could look over that is if majority of those people you had sex with were relationships that you thought might have been something else other than just sex.
But how many relationships could you possibly have that you think are just more than sex?
Well,
and then how many times do you just fuck him?
I don't know. I mean, what if you meet a motherfucker on January 1st and you do this every year? And for a whole year, y'all have a relationship and y'all fucking in the whole year. That's a relationship. And then on December 31st, y'all break up.
I mean, every year for how many years? Like, you have to be
20 years.
To have 20 partners?
I mean, you
know that's not what's happening out here though.
But there are definitely men and women who've had 20 different sex partners in their lifetime. Tons of people.
Yeah.
You know? And I'm not looking down upon that. I'm not looking down upon it.
I hope not.
I'm just saying though, from my perspective, if I was single and you know I'm looking to date someone seriously, and I met a woman who had 25 as a body count, I may not be that interested in her.
Would you ask her?
Well, so that's the thing though, right? So what you don't know don't hurt you sometimes, and so I have learned over the years not to ask, unless it just
over the years. Over the years. You mean you actually asked women that?
Hell yeah. I was young though. I was young. I mean, we
how
both
do you ask a woman what her body count is? I wish a nigga would. It ain't never been a nigga that ever asked me, and if he did, I probably made it real clear that ain't none of your motherfucking business. Well, that's what women say when they didn't ask.
I have to say that
only women that get offended by that question are pretty experienced.
No, I would say maybe an older woman. I don't want to say older, but a more experienced woman. So like someone maybe like after 35 years old. Like it doesn't really fucking matter. You know what I'm saying? Like probably. But I'm younger, and society tells me that I should give a fuck. I should care about this. You know? You don't want to date someone. You don't want to have.
When I was 29, I was married, and it was crazy because I got a lot of respect from society because I was married. But before my husband, I got a lot of dick. I was the same bitch.
So yeah, society plays. I mean, it's different. Society is, you know, we've created standards for men and women when it comes to different things, right?
So what's the high body count for women? Let's just say a woman in her late 20s.
A woman in her late 20s?
She about 29 to 32. Let's say that. I think that's a range.
I would say if she has more than 15, I don't know. I have no idea. Because look. If you're 29,
I'm only laughing because anybody listening to this is thinking about their own number at that point in their life.
But look though. If you're 20, let's just say you're 30. Let's make it easy. If you're 30, right? You're gonna say in America, at least, the average person starts having sex around 16, 17, 18 years old. You mean to tell me between 18 and 30, you fuck 15 niggas? So you mean in your sex life, that's 12 years. So you're averaging 1.3 niggas in a year.
That's not a lot of niggas in 365 days. You know how many Omega parties there are in 1 year of college? Do you know how many times the alphas have a party? I mean, just think about these things. You know how many times there's a football game? I mean, think about when men gather and it's easy for a woman to have her pick.
Of course. I understand that. I didn't say she shouldn't have her pick.
So just like men, so a woman is 15 and a man is 20. So men are given about, they can have sex every so often, more often. But a woman who's single can only have sex with 1.3 men in an entire 365 days.
1.3 different men.
All these niggas out here. And she's only allowed to have sex with 1.3 different men.
I didn't say allowed. I just said from the
before
from
she's 18
from 18 to 30, Well, also there's a social dynamic to this shit too, right? So hold on. So when I was in college, right, which is not too long ago, when I was in college,
nigga, that was 10 years ago now.
I started college 11 years ago.
You about to be up there with me.
When I was in college, right, and we knew when the guys got together, had a meeting of the minds to talk about the girls that we knew and who they was fucking and what they was doing and shit like that, right?
Yeah,
niggas will put their hands up and go, yeah, I fucked her. Yeah, I fucked her too. I fucked her. I'm pretty sure women do that shit too. Don't lie. Like,
I don't know bitches. I never really asked any woman you know if we ever had those kind of conversations. Me and women don't get that close. They usually end up crying on my shoulder and shit about their lives and shit. Women are real with me and fake with their friends.
I understand that.
So I don't really have those kind of relationships with women.
This is the shit. I think this just goes on. I think this is natural with any group of people. All men, all women. It doesn't matter. You know, whatever.
Well, now I'll tell you this. When I was in college, we all fucked the same niggas, and it was like we agreed to it. We're like, yeah, we'll share them, and y'all know who y'all are. And we would sometimes all have sex in the same rooms. I mean, it was real gross. It got real gross.
Yeah, but what did those? So this goes.
So lucky I was alive before.
What did those guys say about you girls when the girls weren't there?
I don't know.
If I had to guess, they were probably calling some of y'all hoes.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we called them hoes too.
I'm not saying that they're right. Exactly. Also, so that's a great point, right? You know, everybody can be a hoe. Anyone can be a hoe.
When nobody taking them niggas seriously, I'm still in touch with them niggas, and they give all the promises in the world. They still some hoes. A lot of them got 12, 13 kids. They some hoes. The motherfuckers we call hoes back in the day is some motherfucking hoes. The guys and the girls.
But
I was never called a hoe because I kept my business to myself.
The point I was trying to make is that
if I was called a hoe, it wasn't my motherfucking face.
It's a social thing, right? So you can take one girl, if she's fucked every single guy in the group, right? Those guys are like, she a hoe. But she only fucked like 4 5. That's not really.
I don't know, man.
That's not really a hoe.
I accomplished. Before I graduated from high school, I accomplished all my goals.
But I mean, you asked me for my opinion. I'm just telling you. My opinion. I didn't say it was right. I just said this is my opinion.
But if a dude fuck a bunch of girlfriends, is he a hoe?
He should be considered a hoe. He should be considered a hoe. In the eyes of the girls, he should be a hoe. That's the only way to even it out. Is that when the guys who all sharing the same girl,
but do guys call him a hoe?
And the girls who all sharing the same guy,
but do his homies
he has to be a hoe to the women.
Do his homies call him a slut?
Do his homies call him a slut? No. But I will have to say though, if you with a group of women and y'all fucking the same nigga, or no, sorry, if you're a woman and you fucking a group of niggas and your girls are calling you hoes, I think you fucking with the same. You fucking with the wrong women. You have the wrong women around you.
Yeah. Because I remember, and the only time I remember really having that kind of relationship with women was when I was in college, and we would like put one up to have sex with the guy, so the rest of we would kind of know what he was like before we had sex with him. And then she was like, yeah, he was good, and then we'd be like, all right, that's cool, we can fuck with him. Wasn't nothing to it.
I mean, to each his own.
Shout out to you, Mikey. Mikey got like 8 years.
Why are you putting people's business out in the street like that?
I remember one time I was in the dorm room with Mikey. I forget what it was a big out of town game. We didn't go. And Dad walked by and was like, boy, you sure do got a pretty mouth. It was a rainy Saturday in Mississippi. That's all we used to do on the weekends was go in abandoned buildings on campus and have sex. So anyway, I don't know. I guess that who's allowed to care about body count? Like, who's allowed to care? Parents, friends, cousins, partners, exes?
Well, before I answer that question, I was having this conversation with my brother the other day. About, I don't know, we have the same type of conversation when we start off one way and then we end up somewhere else. And we got on the subject of prostitution. And then I told him, I said, well, she's not a prostitute if you film it and put it up on the internet.
It's still sex trafficking, but she ain't a prostitute.
It's not a prostitute. It's pornography. She's an actor, right? Yeah. Or an actress. That's sorry. True.
Why did it make my pussy wet? That's crazy.
So the point I'm trying to make here about that statement is, how come no one calls porn stars whores?
Porn whores. Nobody does. People elevate porn stars. I think because we love actresses. Even the fact that if you make one porn, then you're all of a sudden a star.
I mean, everybody's watched porn at some point in their life, and the real famous ones, the real famous porn stars, they fucked multiple people, probably
thousands.
Yeah, I mean,
way more than me, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter that they get checked for STDs every so often and all that shit like that. You still are.
Cause them bumpy booties don't come from nowhere.
Them what?
Them bumpy buttholes. All them motherfuckers got herpes. They be loving it.
It's an interesting conversation, but for regular folk,
but even prostitutes are called whores. Bitches that fuck a bunch of niggas for free are called whores. If people respect working girls, escorts, more than they respect the working girl. Cause she working shit.
Cause she doing it as a means to an end, right? Or into a means. If you just out here, so if you
just out here, she could go get a GED.
She could. I mean, I would never. I'm not trying to bash down that profession because it is the oldest profession in the world.
Says who?
It is though.
It says who?
People been having whores for ages. Or prostitutes for ages.
I mean, I don't have nothing wrong with a hoe, but here's the thing about a hoe that bothers me. Nothing really. To be honest with you, there's nothing I can put my mind on. I think the one thing about it is, like, I've come across a couple different prostitutes in my recent days, and the thing that bothers me, I think, is how lazy they are when it comes to other things. Like, they'll put ambition in. They put a lot of energy into getting fucked, but when they have other opportunities that may take a little bit different skill, I think sometimes being a prostitute is a cop-out. And they gain a lot of sympathy from a lot of parts of society because, that's what she's doing to make money. Well, there's a lot of things you can do to make money. And you can live on a whole lot less. So I think the one thing that bothers me maybe about prostitutes is the, I heard this bitch say she got it out the mud. But you ain't get shit out the mud. I got it out the mud. I have a college degree. I have letters behind my name. I'm the motherfucker that stayed up all night studying and writing papers and doing research and putting myself in situations to gain experience and humbling myself to a way of living and a way of doing things, that wasn't as easy as laying on my back. When I fuck a nigga, it's because I want to. I just think, that part gets on my nerves. But other than that, get your money, whatever.
I have the same sentiment. Like, when I was back home, I was outside on the block with a couple of friends, childhood friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to them about how I just started in my master's, and they were like, "Oh man, I always want to do that." Blah blah blah. I was like, "Ain't shit to it but to do it." Like it really ain't. And he was like, "Man, but the papers," and I was like, "Ain't shit wrong. Like, ain't. There's nothing.
Just gotta make it important.
There's nothing difficult about writing. You do is sit your ass down.
It is. I ain't never gonna let nobody tell that lie. It takes discipline. Eric, we both have been challenged to get our education. It takes discipline. Everything. Remember we were talking and I said everything is gonna come in your life to make you not be able to do what you gotta do when it comes to getting an education. That's real talk. We ain't gonna tell these people that it's butter.
I didn't say it was easy as whistling Dixie. Nah, but I'm just what I'm saying is that it's not as hard as people think. It's going to school ain't harder.
School's not hard.
Huh? It's
hard.
It's not as difficult as doing a fucking 9-to-5 manual labor job. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
That's true. But it develops the skill and the discipline that allows you to do a 9-to-5 job and keep it. You almost have to have a master's degree just to be a regular worker in America and survive. Because there's a lot of people here that don't have the regular basic tenacity and perseverance and work ethic.
When I hear people complain about what they have to do in school for the reason why they're not in school, that's the shit that pisses me off. Because I'm not smarter than most motherfuckers.
They just don't want to.
People have this idea that to be in college or to excel in college or to finish, you got to be some fucking brainiac. No, you don't.
Mm-mm. It's not intelligence. It's skill.
I will tell you right now, anybody and everybody who's ever been to college and graduated from college, they all sat next to, graduated with a dumbass motherfucker.
Or worse. I graduated from college, my undergrad, with a 1.5. And I'm still getting money. At some point, I figured out it don't matter what you graduate with. I asked my one of my college professors, please give me a D. That's all I need to graduate. At some point, I realized grades didn't matter. Not for me. When I realized there were no jobs in my field paying anything and all I was going to make was $8 an hour, even if I graduated at the top of my class, bitch, what I'm putting all this time into these papers for? I would even look at the syllabus to realize what I could not do and still pass. Yeah. Because all that became important. My junior year of college, I called my mama and said, Mama, I'm about to drop out. This shit is getting on my nerves. I believe my mama told me, don't worry about it, baby, just pass. Just get your fucking paper. Don't worry about them letters. Don't worry about them numbers. You could graduate with a 1.2. You need to just get the fucking paper. And that's what I did. I didn't give a fuck about your A. A for what? What's an A gonna give me if I knew that when I graduated with a bachelor's degree in mass communications, I was gonna make $8 an hour working for the local television station. Either that or I was gonna make $9 an hour for enterprise using my minor. What the fuck was I gonna stay up all night working on a paper for? It didn't matter what my grades were. I was gonna make the same money. I realized that because people went before me. Came back to the school. I work at WTVT. How much do you make? $8.55. Oh, thanks for letting me know. Because my mama said you don't go to college to get an education. You go to college to get that paper. My daddy said that if the money that we invest in your education, you should make every year after you graduate. And when I realized I wasn't going to do that my first year, now I didn't end up working in television. I ended up going to enterprise and making that money, still with that 1.5 GPA. And the only time my GPA ever kept me out of a job was when I was going to be a teacher for the public school system. They were hiring people who weren't teachers to be teachers. And they wanted me to have a 2.5. Like, you know, a lot of your teachers don't have 2.5s, right? You want somebody who's experienced in their field to bring in outside experience to teach, but you want them to have a certain GPA. But a lot of your teachers didn't graduate with 2.5s. You don't have to have a 2.5 to get into the school system. You could be a substitute and be in the same class for 5 weeks and get a full-time job. Y'all quit playing these games with me.
Well, I had the same experience as you. I only have one experience where my GPA did not get me a job that I wanted. And I hate using this word, but it was this phrase. It was a blessing in disguise, because if I had taken that job, I would have not moved to China.
Same here. If I had taken that job, I would not have come to China.
I was applying to be a what is it called? Not an analyst, like one of the caseworkers for the EEOC, and I made it all the way to the final round of interviewees or whatever. Final round of interviews, and the only thing that the person that they chose over me had over me was a better GPA. But I had a better background, I had better skills, I had a better work experience, I had way better personality and charisma. But because it was EOT, quote unquote government job, my GPA didn't align with who they wanted to hire. But I figured it like this. I finished college in 2002. This was 2009. If it still matters, then I've been in my field at this point for 6 years working. You feel me? And if it still matters now what my GPA was in 2002, then fuck you. Yeah. That don't matter. Oh well. No one in China has ever asked me what my GPA was. And if they do, I tell them 4.0. Sure would. But anyway. Well, it was a good discussion tonight. I graduated on time. I tell people, and people be like, they graduated magna cum laude. I graduated, woo, thank you, Laude. And that's all you're going to get from me. I bet y'all can do my job. I bet y'all can feed this baby. I bet you we live a beautiful life. I bet you I can make some money. Oh, God. Because there's plenty of people in this world. I had to learn that by going to it. Plenty of people in this world make a lot of money without a whole lot of GPA. And sometimes that pick and fence will fence you in. But you got to get that education. If you don't get that paper, fuck the numbers. That's what I be telling people. Don't worry about the numbers. I told my godson, if you got to cheat, nigga, finish him. I knew hella niggas in college that was cheating. Shit. Wikipedia was my friend. And they didn't have no, it only became an issue when I worked on my master's, but I went to a little seminary where they didn't use no technology to grade our paper. Oh, shit. There wasn't no turning in? There wasn't no Grammarly? Shit. This was 2000 and... They just had to guess? They had to guess if you plagiarized? Shit. Damn. And I'm gonna say I'm not gonna say what I won't say, because that master's degree ain't that old. So the motherfuckers can still take that shit back. It won't matter. They took it from Bill Cosby. Poor Bill Cosby. I was just watching the Cosby Show the other day. It was this damn thing on YouTube. What's your favorite TV show? And there was a whole bunch of black TV shows, Family Matters, Sister, We're Happy and We're Singing and We're Colored. They did not mention the Cosby Show. I said, so we just gonna act like the Cosby Show didn't exist? Didn't exist. Because they told us to? I mean, the Cosby Show is the OG of black families on TV looking like something. I mean... The fucking... revolutionary shit. And y'all just gonna not talk about Bill Cosby because they told you to? Or A Different World. They stopped airing A Different World. Man. And black people should be mad at that, because that's dude. You talked about in the 90s, in the late 80s, whatever the fuck, whenever that show aired. That's why we went to college. That's why so many people went to college. Yeah. When I tell you that,
Well, my mama and daddy wasn't having that shit. I told my mama I was gonna drop out of high school when I was a junior because I got a C in math, and she beat me with a roll of French bread. She wasn't having that shit.
She beat you with a baguette?
A long ass roll of French bread. My daddy had got some donations for the church, and we had a roll of French bread. And we never even ate that shit. It just looked fancy.
Mama beat you with she beat you with a baguette.
She beat me, and my nails broke, and she let me get them done. She paid for me to get them redone, but she beat my ass.
Tough love.
I got a C in math, and I was like, I'm dropping out anyway. She beat my ass. I was like, you would let Harold say it. She's like, you ain't saying nothing like that in my house. But shit, she sure did. But nah, and I think that at that time, Different World was revolutionary. I mean, Different World came out in like 94, 92. And I lived in an impoverished neighborhood. Well, yeah. It was.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But I watched every fucking episode of a Different World, maybe like 3 times. At least 3 times a piece. I
don't even think we realized how precious that show was until we got to live out. Because I went to an HBCU too. That's the thing. Like, it really highlighted HBCUs and made those normal to us. And I feel like I was lucky because in my town there was a woman named Shirley Ann Allen. She was like my godmother. My daddy used to have me sit with her during the days and soak up her, you know what I'm saying? She used to go down to the city council meetings and cuss out the mayor, tell him what it was. But she also had an annual, he knew her by name. When she got up to speak, the whole room got quiet, and I was sitting right there with her. She had a lot of legacy, but she hosted every year this HBCU college tour. And every year it went to different parts of the country. The year I went, it highlighted the North and South Carolinas, but my brother went in 96, and it highlighted the Mississippi area. Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama, New Orleans. And he went to Jackson State. And he came back and told me it was super hood. That's my shit.
See, I didn't go to
real black
HBCU,
people
but
down there.
I didn't go to HBCU, but I wanted to so bad. I only wanted to go to Fisk. That's the only HBCU I wanted to go to. And I went on an HBCU college tour when I was a junior in high school. I remember we went to Howard. I went on Howard's campus and I was like, no, these niggas too uppity for me.
That's how I felt at North Carolina A&T. They was like, everywhere you go, you gotta be butter. And I was like, well, what if I got a 7 a.m. class? I'm not here to be cute. I'm here to get a fucking education. I feel that shit now, though. I understand exactly where you're coming from. But they were also very brown bag. They were also very, very, very brown bag at that school. We went to
was it Morgan State or Morgan Valley in Virginia?
Up there by Hampton, and those are the big schools. Those are the schools
cool,
that get that.
Hampton. I went to Hampton, and Hampton just kind of felt like, I don't know. I just wasn't feeling Hampton. But I swear to God, any nigga you know went to Hampton, they'll tell you Hampton was the best thing since sliced bread. And niggas that went to Hampton be like, word to Harvey. That's what they say. Word to Harvey. That's the shit they say.
What?
Any nigga that went to Hampton, they'll say like, just be like, that's like their thing. They'll be like, word to Harvey. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what it means. But I ain't go to Hampton. Like, ask a nigga that went to Hampton that you know. Like,
I love bisexual men, but I don't really come across them very often.
No, women that say that shit too. They were like, word to Harvey. I don't know what the fuck that means though.
You know what I found? What I found is that, one thing that Different World didn't talk about.
I had a delayed reaction. Sorry.
The one thing that Different World didn't talk about was the classism among black colleges. And how the Negro, let me just say this right here on national television. The United Negro College Fund does not support all black colleges. It only supports a small group of black colleges that are part of a certain group called the Methodist Church. That would be Tougaloo, Tuskegee, Hampton, Howard, what we call the brown bag schools, the light-skinned schools. Jackson State, no. Grambling, no. Southern, no. The black schools, the ones we could afford to go to, because I couldn't afford to go to those other ones. Clark Atlanta, Spelman, these are the upper echelon black schools where you find that they still are very classist, which is cool. I mean, I believe in class, in culture. But those schools look down on the rest of us. We didn't get those United Negro College funds that are picked up every single year at these different events. And we had to, really basically just fight for our own money. Let me see if I can find.
I gotta say this though, if anyone from Fisk ever hear this fucking thing, y'all lost me because y'all last too fucking good, and not because of not because of the campus. When I went on my college tour and we went to Fisk, I completely fell in love with Fisk. Like, I was like, this is where I want to go to school. And Fisk was the first school I applied to my senior year of high school. But I didn't hear shit back from Fisk until August the following year. I didn't want to go to any other HBCUs but Fisk.
Oh, fuck. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy. They changed your entire trajectory by not putting some shit in the mail. Because I still my mama got my Jackson State acceptance letter. It's out there now in the patio. Because my mama would never let me have it. I had to pry it out of her hands. But I got accepted to Jackson State. I applied for Jackson State in April of 1996. And I was accepted by like June or like before the school year was over. And I didn't even go to Jackson State until 1998. I got accepted 2 years early just so I'd have it out the way. But that's crazy. Yes. See, and that's the thing about black colleges too. And let me say this too. I love black colleges, but I remember telling the dean of students when I graduated, I will never send my child to a black college because the customer service is horrible. And the way that y'all treat us is horrible. And my mother and father have had to pray before they call so they don't cuss somebody out. Y'all so motherfucking nasty. And I can't understand why at a black college we get such bad customer service from our own people. Why you going to do your fucking financial aid and you got to go to 8 different buildings because don't nobody. It's only at a black college. That's the type of shit we talk about as black college graduates. Like the fucking shit. Like you want to send your kid to like UCLA so they don't have to deal with the same shit.
Yeah. That's what happened. It's fucked up.
I do want my daughter to go to a black college. Like, I conditioned her.
And someone was like, you should have called Fisk. Like, I did call Fisk. Called Fisk like 3 times. My entire senior year. I called Fisk in front of my college counselor.
And they answered the phone?
They answered, and they put me on hold for like 5 minutes, and I just gave up. I was like, I'm going.
Black college shit. My mama used to tell me, she'd be like, we got through to somebody today, and I'm like, damn, what you do? She's like, girl, I fasted all day yesterday before I called them today. Like, that's a goddamn shame. And all my parents was trying to do was give them motherfuckers some money. They was just trying to give them some money. Trying to pay my fucking tuition. Money. These motherfuckers, I don't get it. And I hope it's not still like that. If it is, y'all let us know. Because it's like, man, it's sad. I hope that happened. Because the experience of going to a black college is enriching.
You know what they told me? Ways. They could wait. You know, they called me. I'm packing up to go to the school I graduated from, and they were like, so they were like, are you coming to Fisk? And I was like, yeah, am I coming to Fisk?
Based on what acceptance letter?
I never got an acceptance letter. I'm telling you, I was so in love with that campus.
Yeah, it's in North Carolina, isn't it?
No, Fisk is in Tennessee, I believe.
Tennessee, yep.
Yeah.
They're one of the United Negro College Fund schools.
Tennessee or Kentucky, but I want to say Tennessee.
Fisk is in Nashville.
Yeah, Tennessee. Yeah. But anyway, all this is besides the point. Let's talk about body count before I gotta go. I got like 15 minutes left.
I know I gotta go too. I was always supposed to do this show for an hour tonight. Have we ever had a conversation that was just an hour?
No, because we get off on tangents and everything else. But body count, does body count count? I would say, to sum it all up, I think it just depends on who you're talking to.
I'll say this. I don't care how many sexual partners a man or a woman has had. And if you have had a lot, then you should not be whack. Like, seriously. If you haven't had a lot, then that should be the only reason why you whack. That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother thing, right? Because there's niggas out here who get women just totally based on their appearance, how they look, the way they talk to women, right? But I trash in bed.
Can't fuck for shit.
So they could have a high ass body count, but they ain't never really fucking the same woman twice because women be like, man, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, the same could be true for women. There are women who get
not really though, not really.
Based on their looks, and they're beautiful women, but they lay in bed like wet fish.
Yeah.
Or they ride like offbeat.
Yeah, but I don't really think. I think a lot of men don't pay attention to that because, like,
y'all never talked about women being bad in bed.
Let me see. Let me think. Have I ever had a woman who was like completely trash? I mean, like,
I have. You'd have some interesting encounters.
I've had maybe one girl who I was like,
You remember that one girl who you were like, it was hard to kind of find her because she was so big? The one whose avatar is always different everywhere you see her.
But she actually wasn't that bad though. But I gotta say that, I mean, like, I had just got to China. I'm giving too much information. But, like, I did tell myself I wouldn't do it again.
We talking about Houston, right?
Uh-huh. I know exactly what you're talking about. I did tell myself I wouldn't do it again.
With her?
Yeah. But I think that was for different reasons. And not...
Why?
And not because of the sex.
Why? If I heard Justin was going to be so mad I was on camera with my hair looking like this.
I don't know. I just think that experience I had with that person, it wasn't what I...
Did you think that was going to turn into a relationship?
Thought it was going to be. No.
And if not, does that now make you a whore?
No, I did not think it was going to turn into a relationship. Like, we both knew what it was about. It was no doubt about it. In fact, I didn't even start she initiated everything.
I didn't know that. I never asked that.
Yeah, of course she initiated everything. I mean, look at me and look at her.
I thought you went on a date. I didn't go on a date.
Elsie, stop playing with me.
I thought y'all went on a date. You didn't go on a date?
No.
Oh,
I think you thought about
that one girl.
I think you're thinking about somebody else.
You remember that one girl I had to meet up with to tell her to calm the fuck down?
She's light skinned. I never did anything with her.
Man, you think you did. I was like, honey, chill out.
You talking about the one who's all controlling, right? With the sister locks? Yeah, I never did anything with her. I tried.
Man, I had to tell that girl. She's like, I don't know what's wrong with your friend. I was like, baby, you gotta chill.
Hold on, wait. Let me ask your community, what do they think about this, right? Because we know what we think about it, right? So I'm gonna give your community the story, and then I gotta go.
People in the comments.
So yeah, if you listening,
all comments matter.
If you listening, write a comment after I tell the story. What you think about this? So me and you, we met that girl at New Year's Eve party, right?
Is that where?
Mm-hmm. Met her at a New Year's Eve party, and
no,
remember, we did. Yes, we did.
No, because she was at the Christmas party that I worked at. You had already started talking to that girl. You came in one day and was like, hey, this girl I've been talking to. And then when I got there, you would show me a picture of her, and I was like, this the same girl?
No, she was at
that one party in Yunnan or wherever we were.
Shireen. She was at that party. But we didn't talk. We talked to her, but we didn't talk to her. We had both.
You guys didn't meet there because she was being weird there. You guys already knew each other. And I had a conversation with her and said, if you mad at a man and you in the same room with him, you don't sit up and be mean to him. You be the baddest bitch in the room and have a good motherfucking time, stupid.
Whoa, okay. So yeah, I did forget about that part.
Y'all was already beefing before that party.
We didn't beef. No. I forgot.
She was beefing.
I forgot that part.
Remember you didn't answer her back, and she was like,
exactly.
So you just gonna leave the conversation.
We met online in one of the group chats.
That's what I said.
We met online.
We were still staying in the hotel when y'all.
Yeah, exactly. I met her in the hotel. We were staying in the hotel and in the group chats, and she was texting me about how her plans fell through, and she wanted to meet me somewhere.
Can I tell a story?
Go ahead.
Because I think this is a very important conversation. This hoe, no, she couldn't get no dick. This bitch was texting you talking about she was going to meet somebody else. And you were like, okay. And then her plans fell through. And she was trying to get you to take her out. And you were like, pew. And then that night, she was like, oh, so you just gonna drop from the conversation? No, the next morning, she was like, oh, you just gonna drop off the conversation?
And I didn't respond.
We got to China December 7th, 2016. That New Year's Eve party was December 31st. So this was between then. Now, mind you, I don't think you really talked to her anymore after that. But I saw her. She and I worked at the same Christmas party. And I knew it was her, and she didn't know I knew who she was. Because you had showed me all the texts. And I was like, just leave that bitch be. Just don't say nothing. Because bitches like that are crazy. And you just got here, and it's a whole lot of pussy. So just don't worry about her. Right. And then after that, she
was a New Year's Eve party.
That was a New Year's Eve party, and she made sure she was everywhere you were, but she wouldn't speak, and she was acting an ass.
No, but she told me. She told me, she was like, you ghosted me. That's what she said.
Oh, yeah!
And I was like, well, what you mean I ghosted you? Because I forgot all about her. I forgot.
You look crazy.
And she gave me the whole spiel, and I was like, okay. I was like, well, let's try this again. Now that I met you, let's try this again. So we decided
to
cool. Go out. We decided to be cool. We decided to go out. We were gonna go to a Japanese restaurant at the mall where was around the corner from where we were living.
Damn, was that where we went to dinner?
It was at
weird.
It was at Raffle City.
We went to dinner at Raffle City too. That girl's weird. Go ahead.
It was at Raffle City. We were going to that Japanese restaurant on like the 8th floor or something like that. Anyway,
yeah,
we met
that
there.
I know what you're talking about.
You were there. You were there. I remember this. You were with
her. You ducked her.
No. You were there with her because y'all were on the subway with each other.
That was not the same night that I told
That was
you
the same night.
Crazy.
That was the same night.
Okay. But by that time, you guys have been hanging out, and you had told her you just want to be friends. And remember, you asked her, could you use her internet? And she was like,
you skipping the fucking thing. Wait. You going ahead of the story. Okay. You're going ahead of the story, right? Head of the story.
Yeah, a lot of beer
remember,
those days.
We were meeting up for Japanese. And we got to the restaurant, we're looking at the menu, and she goes, you know what, you want to just come back to my apartment? That's what she said. I was like, but what about our food? She was like, we could just take it to go. And I was like, okay, cool. Now, I was 23 at the time.
I didn't know about this part.
No, you did. You definitely knew. You definitely knew.
Okay.
I was 23 at the time, and 23-year-old nigga, we supposed to be eating dinner, and now you're talking about going back to your crib. What am I supposed to be thinking?
We fucking.
So we go back to her apartment. We eat our little food. We go into her room because we were at first eating in her little living room / kitchen.
Her living room was this big. And her roommate was so fucking nasty.
She had a nasty ass roommate. She did.
Now, I was starting to think that bitch was her because that bitch was always on vacation. I'm starting to think she was her nasty roommate. Because that bitch was always on vacation. She was always in Russia or Vietnam or Cambodia or some off the wall shit. That might have been that bitch. But anyway, so she took you back to the apartment.
So we're in the apartment, right? We ate our food, and then we go into her room. She closes the door. Like she
You had to close the door because that bitch was nasty.
Well, she made it.
It was not romantic. Outside of her bedroom, that apartment was nasty.
She made it a point to let me know that she was closing the door, right? And then
so weird.
She cut on
Netflix.
And then
wasn't she from like Indiana or something corny like that?
Like Minnesota or some shit. I don't know. Like and then she dimmed the lights and then she lit some candles.
Oh,
so I watched.
It was in the afternoon, wasn't it?
No, it was at night because we had all just got off work.
Okay. Yeah, it was like 10, 11 o'clock at night.
So she light the candles, then the lights. We are on her bed watching this movie for like 10, 15
minutes. And her bed
minutes.
is literally this big.
So
I thought that bitch was trying to fuck me in that little bitty room.
Out of nowhere, she starts trying to kiss me. So I play along. I'm kissing her back.
I remember it. I definitely remember you telling me this.
And I'm rubbing up on her booty, trying to make her feel good and stuff like that. And she said something along the lines of, what are you doing? And I said, well, am I making you uncomfortable? She said, and she said, yeah. So I said, okay, then I'll stop. So we continue to watch the movie, but then she proceeds to try and kiss me again. I said, whoa, hold on.
I remember you telling me this shit now.
I said, hold on. I don't know what you think this is. You can't have your cake. It can't all just be what you want it to be.
And the same thing crossed my mind then that is crossing my mind now. This bitch is crazy.
So we awkwardly finished this movie, and then I fucking left. Actually, did I finish the movie? I didn't finish that movie. I left. Because I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
You left your food, didn't you?
No, we ate. I ate.
Oh. Who paid for dinner? I
think she did.
She paid for our dinner too.
I can't remember, but anyway, I left.
She was weird like that.
And I think we had exchanged.
She wouldn't even let me split it.
Yeah, but she was weird. But I think we had exchanged a couple of messages after that. But it wasn't. I was turned off by her. Basically, I was not.
You remember when you asked her if you could use her internet, and she was
so
like,
wait,
"No."
Let me get to that, right? So, we were in this apartment and it had the most bogus fucking internet. So I was like, I needed good internet.
Know it was in the wackest apartment in Beijing.
And I remember from being at an apartment that she had pretty good internet. So I asked, I said, "Hey, do you mind if I come over and use your internet? I need to do something on the internet." And she got upset. She was like, "No." At first she told me, yeah. And then I think before I made my way over there, I reached back out to her so I can know that it was okay to come over. And she was like, "No, I changed my mind." I was like, "Why you changed your mind?" She was like, "Well, I feel like you're using me." And I was like, "Bitch, I'm not using you. I'm using your internet." What are you talking about?
I remember this conversation. I said, "That's right, E. Let this bitch know she crazy."
And I think that was it. I mean, I haven't really, man. I think what was her Ariana? That was her name.
Was it
Ariana?
It must have been. I was very pregnant, but it must have been not too long after that. She asked me to go out to eat. Like, she was selling me sage for a minute, and then one day she stopped. I think it was because she realized that me and you were actually really friends, and like you were her enemy or something. Like you were. She had this idea that if a man didn't give her what she wanted, then he became her enemy. But she wasn't even pretty, so like I don't even know what her expectation came from. But anyway,
she wasn't ugly though. She wasn't ugly. That's why I paid her attention. I mean, I hate to say
she looked like a gym teacher.
You were so mean. Stop being so mean. She was not ugly. She was not ugly.
I didn't say she wasn't ugly. I said she wasn't pretty.
Okay. Anyway. Yeah. So to y'all, to your viewers, to your community, what do y'all think about this situation? I
had a conversation with her, and I told her she was nuts, and I told her she needed to chill out and allow a man to pursue her.
Didn't she have
so fucking masculine?
Didn't she have an encounter with a guy that we both know? Another guy that we both know?
Frank.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Frank fucked everybody.
But I remember it was like a big deal. I think it was a big deal though.
Hold on, I'm about to call Frank.
Is he gonna answer for you?
Especially if it's morning time. He let to hear my voice in the morning. That's why I wouldn't answer his calls while he was supposed to be translating that birth certificate for me. I would not take his phone calls. I only text him. Let me give him something to wait for. Hold on, let me find him. See if he can help us remember. Does he still have the same phone number? Let me see. Man, I reconnected with so many people from China in the last couple weeks. Everybody gone. Except you.
I know, I'm still here.
I don't even know if he'll even know this is my number. Did we communicate on this phone?
I must have deleted her because she was crazy.
She left China. She went to Japan. I think she moved to Japan.
Oh, that's good.
I'm pretty sure that's what she did.
You know, in Japan they got mandatory. In Japan they got mandatory fucking times because their population is so low. They send people home to go fuck for real. Seriously.
These Asians, man.
They're trying to boost their population. They need it.
These Asians. Let me see if he'll answer. Oh, this is his Maryland phone number. On WhatsApp. I never talked to him on this phone number. Probably not. Not from Maryland. But anyway, Franklin Paris. Every time we talk about him, the internet cracks up. That's how undependable he is.
Anyway, man, I'm so blessed to be on your show. Thank you for having me.
Me too. We're gonna have to have you back. You know what? It's kind of ironic because I said that I wanted you to be part of this conversation. I really, really did. So I'm glad that you were able to stand in for those who couldn't. Shout outs to those who had other shit to do and had to get some rest and had to move. Thank you, E, for your energy. And thank you guys for joining us tonight on Meet Me. I always say the name wrong. Meet Me at the Mic. Thank you for joining my guest, E from the Black Book Pod. You definitely have to check out the Black Book Podcast on YouTube. It is everything. Other than that, it was great to have you tonight, E.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll have to do it again. I don't know how to stop this, though.
Wow.
I don't know how to end it. I never know. So if it just falls off, you know what it was. Bye, y'all. See you next week. Oh, next week I'll be joining from a cruise, so we'll see how that goes.
Interesting.
Oh, yeah. We're going to Mexico. Up the street and around the corner. I'm not getting off the boat in Mexican. I'm not trying to join the cartel. Anyway, I'll holler. Meet me in the background, E. I'm going to follow up with you. Bye, y'all. Okay, it paused. Does that do it?